I grew up in deep East Texas. Those of you who have never visited Texas might be thinking of tumbleweeds, cacti, and rednecks. You'd be right on one of those three. Northeast Texas, at least in parts, is a swamp. The part just adjacent to Louisiana is everything you expect of a semi-tropical swamp. Hot, humid, and lots of little black water lakes. I used to love to swim, dive, and fish in the local lakes. I tell you this to give you background on why I will never, not ever, absolutely never, ever, ever go back into a warm freshwater lake ever again. It used to be one of my favorite activities, but one thing ruined it. Pam. Pam is not an ex-girlfriend or creepy old nudist lady. It's not a person at all. It's primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, PAM. It's a very, very rare health threat. Only 32 proven cases in the last decade. About 100 in the history of the U.S. 28 of those cases were from swimming in freshwater ponds, lakes, or pools. 2 were from a drinking water supply that was heated geothermally. And 2 of those infections were the result of watching Oprah. Okay, not watching Oprah exactly. But those 2 cases were the result of using neti pots. And the neti pot craze certainly started on Oprah's talk show. I'm going to talk about Pam, and I'm going to talk about neti pots. Then I'm going to summarize what the real risk connection is between those 2 things. 1. A little more about Pam. It's horrible. We have no tests to diagnose it. We have no drugs that we know work on it. If you contract Pam, you have only a 2% chance of surviving. It's a death sentence, and it will be a painful, lingering death. I have studied Ebola and Lassa. I have been in biosafety level 4 facilities, and this thing scares me irrationally. The causative agent in Pam, typically an amoeba called Naegleria fowleri, needs warm fresh water to thrive and grow. That's why cold water lakes are relatively safe. It's also no threat for drinking water, as stomach acids destroy it quickly. Its only route to penetrate your defenses is in the nose. Since, prior to humans swimming in fresh water for recreation, and of course since Oprah suggested pouring warm water into your nose, the disease has increased in prevalence. Hey, bonus depression. Thanks to a warming trend, lakes as far north as Ohio are likely to be infectious during the summer months, signaling a general trend of expansion for Pam. If you wonder where this stuff was when you were a kid, jumping off a tire swing into a local watering hole, the answer is that it was much further south in the tropics. Thanks, global warming. The amoebic agent goes through multiple stages in its life cycle, including a cyst stage, where it can remain dormant and protected from its environment for years. Yes, that's right, it can survive cold, starvation, toxic chemicals, and desiccation, and still pop up and eat your brain. 2. Are neti pots effective? Actually, yes, a little. Running warm isotonic salt water does help to moisturize and wash out the crud from the little hairs in your nasal sinus. It's not rocket science. The warmth, moisture, and flushing effect can be pretty soothing. That's why it's been used medically for decades following sinus surgery to wash out wounds. The neti pot is a bit of silliness, invoking the ancient wisdom fallacy that anything that's been practiced for thousands of years must be effective. Anyone who thinks that doesn't know humans very well. There have been multiple papers studying the effectiveness of nasal irrigation. Whether the irrigation is done with a plastic squirt bottle or vitrified ceramic neti pot, it does reduce swelling and pressure. A Cochrane database review of all available literature found that there is evidence that saline is